At ease, it's your boy Soul Immortal. I don't care if you're a 20-year-old just now starting off in life or if you're an 80-year-old guru in a particular field. There are vices that can quickly knock us off of our square, right? Today, brothers, I want to talk about the kryptonite in our lives, right? I want to talk about the things that we entertain that quickly knock us back down to ground zero. Today, brothers, I want to address our demons.
Is it not written in your law that ye are gods? You understand what I'm saying? So this depends on what level you on based on, whether you're human or whether you're immortal.
So you always hear me talk about the brothers in the hood, right? You know, I always talk about the 10 to 12 brothers in my neighborhood. We all grew up together. And, you know, we all ranged about 3 to 4 years, apart. That was pretty much, the range of our ages. But there was one brother, man, that always hung out with us from the hood that was about 8 to 10 years older, right? Now, he would always come play ball with us. He would hoop with us. Whatever we were doing, he was always participating, but he was always older. So we looked at him as an older brother, right? Now since, as we began to age and get up in our teens, of course, this brother, he graduated high school and moved on and was doing whatever he was doing. But I remember just before I left and left for the military, I crossed paths with this brother, man. And I remember him telling me about his experiences and some of his trials and tribulations and some issues he had. And I remember him telling me about this thing on his neck. He had this leather necklace, and at the bottom of it, it was like a little knot. And I think he called it a monkey fist, right? And this monkey fist represented so many days of him being sober. Not only did it represent how many days he was sober, but it was a reminder to keep him away from entertaining alcohol again, right? Now I thought that was kind of odd because I'd never seen or heard anything like that at the age of 20. But I remember when I joined the military and growing up through life and experiencing different things and different people, I came across a few people that had, either bracelets or some form of necklace to help them get over their addiction to alcohol, right? And I'm telling you, in a short amount of time, when I started understanding what was going on, I had a high respect for these people. Because I said, this group of people is a group of people that have identified something that was attacking them, that have identified the kryptonite in their life, right? And then I thought about all the brothers that I had known, that had gone to jail, brothers that, had lost good jobs, brothers that had lost good women due to certain vices in their life. And I even thought about myself. And I said, what if we all, where would we all be if we had all identified our demons? Back when I was in my 30s, I was living in Tyler, Texas, right? And there was a few brothers I would hang out with. And there was this one particular brother, man, that was a little bit different, man. Cool cat, though. We could all say, man, we finna shoot to the MIA, for the weekend. He was like, bet, I'm there, right? We're like, brother, we finna go to the cigar lounge. We finna go to the pool hall. And he was always like, man, I'm pulling up, and he would show up. But every single time we say, hey, man, we finna go to the club. Or we finna go to the strip club, right? That brother was like, nah, I'm gonna catch y'all later. Like, I'm gonna fall back. And we would always tease this brother, man. We would always, throw our little jabs talking about, he was scared to hit the club or whatever. But looking back at it, this brother just fully understood what his demons were. The brother was successful. He had started a trucking company, was doing great, was expanding. He was just in control of his world. He was fully aware that there were certain things that he couldn't entertain that would bring him down. He was cool to go and have a few drinks. He was cool to go, shoot to the beach for the weekend. He was cool to go shoot pool. But if he was going to be around scantily clad women, he knew that it was going to be a snowball effect. He knew there was going to be the beginning of a long problem he was going to be facing, man. And the thing is, like some brothers are addicted to the hub. You know, and then you see some brothers that are addicted to the hub, and then they'll say, you know what, man, I'm finna be celibate for a while. Like I'm gonna go no fap until I, you know, decide to find me a wife and go down that path. And then you have brothers, man, they'll sit back and say, you know, you just lame, you just can't do this. But what it is, that man has just identified his demon. You know what I'm saying? And you can't let society, you know, determine what demons are, because society as a whole is a demon. I mean, look at consumerism. Consumerism is not even looked at as a bad thing, but I'm telling you, consumerism is a sickness. I mean, you have some brothers out there, man, that are spending their last dime on getting a Benz and a Hermes belt and think that they're winning. When in all actuality, that's no different than the man that's spending his last on crack cocaine. It's no different, guys. You know, when people say, oh, well, I'm gonna get away from the television for a while. I'm gonna push back from social media. You have to understand that that's a person going through a phase where they're finally understanding what their demons are. But the question is, why is it so important to identify your demons? The reason you have to identify your demons is because if you don't, you will always be in denial. You will always be going just deeper and deeper into darkness. And this covers all areas. You know, it's easy to see somebody who's on drugs and say, you know what, that person is in denial. Everybody I know who's been on drugs, who hasn't identified that demon, they end up at some point with a mug shot that you can't even identify who it is, right? You know, look at finance is the same, right? You got some people that are stuck on buying the fastest, buying the biggest, they're stuck in consumerism. You know, at some point, if your income isn't going up with the things you're purchasing, you have to understand, you have to admit that you have a problem. You have to admit that at some point in time, you're going to hit ground zero. It's no different with health, right? I remember there was one point in time where every day for lunch, man, I was going to eat, Popeye's chicken, Church's chicken, barbecue. And one day I just looked up and I was almost, close to 300 pounds. And I was like, like you have to understand, like, this is a problem. Like, if you don't change this, at some point, you're gonna be clocking out. At some point, you're gonna be in a hospital bed. And I'm telling you, all these demons, all they do is lead to a person eventually getting into a state of depression, or eventually getting to a point of wanting to leave this world. You know what I'm saying? I can remember back in 2009, I talk about it all the time, my divorce, when I lost my job. All that had taken place when I was sitting on that floor contemplating not even living anymore. The only thing that was taking place is that I had taken an L. I had taken an L to consumerism, right? I had taken an L to, I let the world dictate my marriage and let the hierarchy get out of place. I had simply taken an L, and that's really all that's taking place when people go to those stages, right? Not only is it important to identify what your demon is or what your demons are, it's also important to address it, right? You have no idea how many people were verbally abused by their parents, right? Or were touched improperly by an aunt or an uncle or a neighbor or something like that. I'm telling you, once you identify what it is, you have to address it. Just knowing what your demons are, I'm telling you, is not going to be good enough, because you'll live your whole life. You can even hit levels of success. These demons are still going to be pulling on you, right? When I made the documentary "Beautiful Faces of Evil," for you guys that have seen it, see, a lot of people, made reviews or put comments under the video saying, "Hey, man, I needed this. This was good. I'm glad you put this out." And to be honest, man, I put everything in me on that documentary. You know what I'm saying? I disclosed things that I was sure that I was going to go to my deathbed with, right? But the thing is, when I think about it, if I'm honest with myself, I made that thing for me. You know what I'm saying? I made that, to get over my hump. In other words, that was my monkey fist. You know what I'm saying? That was my declaration on, you know what, going forward, we're getting ready to end these generational curses that my family has been cursed with, right? So I made that for me. So I'm telling you guys, it's important to not only identify your demons, you have to address them. So guys, we can talk about the creation process. We can talk about manifestation. We can talk about success on whatever level, right? Until you address your demons, you can never really have success. You can never really be happy. It may look like that on the outside, but internally, you always be in a dark spot. You can see some of your, favorite people on Instagram. You can see some of your favorite YouTube influencers. Yeah, they might be pushing Lambos. Yeah, they might be living in big cribs. But I'm telling you, some of these people are still facing their demons. Some of you ladies that are looking at, these certain IG models. I'm telling you, they are one post away from jumping off of a bridge. Why is that? Because if they don't hit 50,000 likes on a picture, if they don't hit 100,000 views on a video, they're going to go into a state of depression because they're using that as a crutch, to cover their demons. All I'm saying is this: it is important that you, one, identify your demons. Two, address your demons, because if you don't, your demons will haunt you forever. I can still remember the day that my dad died, just like it was yesterday. Now, this was bad, man. This was hard. It was tough. But what would happen the next day was very weird. She said, "It's my fault." She says, "Your dad was here last night."